proficiency block. Here is the video that I'm going to make for standards ETM1, 2, 3, and 4. This is about the problems that you did on your quiz today, May 23rd. And let's go ahead and get started. So first standard we're going to talk about was our lowercase a problem. And that's standard ETM1, which says I can use diagrams to represent energy change. All right, so here we have a person on a swing. X represents the highest point that the swing goes backwards. Z represents the highest point that the swing goes forwards. And Y represents the lowest part of the swing. All right, the key things that you have to know in order to get these, in order to get either the pie charts or the LOL charts right, is you need to understand that the velocity is zero. There's no movement, there's no kinetic energy at points X and Z. That's the point where the swing stops for just a split second and turns around and goes back the other way. So if you know that the swing has stopped here, all of the energy in this person is going to be gravitational potential energy. There can't be any kinetic energy here at all because the swing has stopped. We know that kinetic energy equals 1/2 mv squared, and if v is 0, then all of this becomes 0. All right, so there's no kinetic energy. Everything here at point X should be GPE. You were fine if you just wrote PE, that's okay too. At point Z, same thing. Everything is gravitational potential energy. The swing has stopped, kinetic energy is 0. It's at point Y where there was a little bit of wiggle room. Point Y could say either all kinetic energy, because this is the fastest moving point here, and we did not define where 0 was. We did in a later question, in question B, but for question A, we did not define 0. So if you, in your mind, made 0 here, then everything is KE at this point. There is no gravitational potential energy left at that point. All of the gravitational potential energy at that point has been converted to kinetic energy. Now, most of you didn't do that, and that is completely fine. Most of you define 0 where the ground is, which makes perfect intuitive sense. And in that case, the correct answer would have been about half kinetic energy, half GPE, half gravitational potential energy. We don't have any numbers here, so we don't really know exactly where that pie chart should be divided. So anything like this is fine. Some people made it just a portion of GPE here like that. If you put both kinetic energy and gravitational potential energy in this chart, I went ahead and graded it as fine. All right, so that's how you would do that with the pie charts. With the LOL charts, let's define our system first. So take a minute and think about what we've got. We always have the Earth. Okay. We have the swing set. I'm just going to combine all of that, the seat, chain, supports, which I didn't draw here. They're drawn on the test. Swing set. And the person. That should pretty much do for our system. We're not taking air resistance into account, so we don't have to write that there's air in there. Okay, so everything, as we saw here in our pie chart, is GPE at the beginning. So I'm going to use 4 units. That's a nice, easy number to work with. Some people use 3, and that's fine as well. So we have 4 units GPE. And if you want to write kinetic energy in here, you can. You just put an X there to show that you're thinking about it and that there isn't any. Moving over here, at the lowest point, this is X, Y, and Z. At the lowest point, we either have some GPE, if we defined our bottom point That's the ground. So we'll say 2. And we definitely have some kinetic energy, regardless of where the ground is. Definitely some kinetic energy. So I've taken my 4 blocks here, and I've split them up into 2 blocks each here of gravitational potential energy and kinetic energy. Gravitational potential energy and kinetic energy. And then over here, we're back to the swing has stopped, so we're all at GPE at this point. All 4 blocks need to be there. If I saw blocks coming and going, if you didn't have a consistent number of blocks in your charts, that showed me that you have a fundamental misunderstanding of what's happening here, and you probably got a 1. If you showed some understanding in some other way, then I might have bumped that up to a 2. All right, that is standard ETM 1.